And welcome to another Mark Bishop show. You know, when you think about it, all we hear about today is cloud this, cloud that, security, security. Well, how does the biggest IBM cloud for financial services help banks address security and compliance requirements while protecting you, me, consumers' most valuable information? It's an important question. So to find out, I welcome Prakash Pattni. He's the Managing Director, Financial Services of the Digital Transformation EMEA and IBM. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure being here and looking forward to talking to you.
Well, in the past 2 years, Prakash, we've seen a massive shift to digitalization across all industries, and banking is just one of the many. Today's consumers expect to be able to use self-service digital channels to make transactions and check their accounts, seamlessly at any time. But, Prakash, as consumer expectations rise, banks need to balance, don't they? Delivering superior and constant customer experiences with security. And although security may not be at the top of every consumer's mind, banks can bet their customer service channel line will be ringing if a client's sensitive financial data is compromised on their banking platform. So all about this new IBM's 2022 Global Financial Fraud Impact Report. It's pretty, it's pretty scary. I mean, you'd go along with that, Prakash, right?
Yeah, no, look, we're seeing at times of great change, which a lot of banks and institutions are undergoing. It's a time of great risk. They're working a lot with fintechs and other providers, and that's increasing their digital supply chain and the surface area of attack for bad actors. And we exactly as you said, if it's very easy, it would take decades to build up all of this trust with consumers because we're holding and protecting their financial data, but it's very easy to lose, right? And one issue or one breach, and that trust from decades can disappear in an instant. So security is really important, and as you say, times are getting much more challenging.
Well, consumers believe that the banks and the payment networks are most responsible for preventing fraud. At the same time, the regulators are also taking a closer look at banks and putting a greater emphasis on cyber resilience as the financial service sector modernizes, as you were talking about, fintechs and so on. So in recent years, though, we've seen more large-scale cyber attacks exploiting vulnerabilities in the third and fourth parties. With the global pandemic, every industry has experienced major changes. So in your mind, what has changed the most in the financial services industry?
I'll highlight three areas that I think have changed the most. First, with the pandemic, I think it accelerated the customers' expectations of what they want from their bank. So if you can order your dinner or get an ingredient delivered to your door in a few minutes, they want that same instant real-time service. Secondly, it's this personalization of services. So I recently, my bank texted me to say you don't have enough money in your account to cover a regular payment that was coming out, and I was able to move money around. So it was, again, even though it's a little bit creepy in that they're watching what I'm doing, but they were advising me crucially at the right time, and it saved me money. And then third, I think the channels that you are seeing used by consumers, we've seen that shift from branches to call centers to internet and to mobile, and I think that'll continue. And I was giving the example of my son who's turned 18 recently, and he was like, why are people sending me bits of paper, checks through the post, and why aren't they just transferring money digitally? So I think you're going to continue to, especially as the next generation comes through, mobile is the predominant channel of choice for millennials, and I think you're just going to continue to see that trend to that digital world continue.
Yeah, well, I find it a challenge too. My biggest fear is security. Look, we know that IBM has been focused on financial services and, it has a history with clients in this space. Can you tell us a bit more about what IBM is up to lately?
Yeah, IBM's really been focused on, we've got a history, obviously, in security, and we've developed a lot of the technologies that underpin banks' security offerings. But we're also looking ahead to the future and some of the threats that may emerge and building technologies around that. One of the things that we've done recently, especially as clients have started moving more to the cloud, is that we've worked with some of the world's largest banks, including Bank of America, BNP Paribas in France, and CaixaBank in Spain, to build a cloud for financial services. This is an industry-specific cloud with built-in security and compliance that we developed with the Bank of America, and it's specifically around the needs of the industry to help them make sure that their data is secure and allow consumers to transact digitally with confidence. So, data security and privacy is at the heart of everything we do, and we believe it's clients' data is their data, and we don't believe in monetizing it. So I think these are some of the things that we've really been focused on.
Well, based on that, what are some of the biggest challenges then financial institutions are facing today?
I think you're going to see continued growth in embedded finance. So instead of carrying around lots of plastic cards, people are using their phone to hold their wallets. And while this is creating opportunities, it's also creating challenges for the industry. So it's now the tech platforms, the Apples and the Googles, who now know what their customers are doing, no longer the banks, because the banks are now interacting with the tech platform. So I think there's some challenges there for the industry. I think you're going to see a lot more contextual banking with artificial intelligence, allowing banks to offer info at the right time. So today it's a little bit random, if I'm honest, and you're given access to products and things at times, but it's not contextualized. I think in the future, as you start to connect up devices and information, you'll be able to offer discounts when you're in a particular shop, or even nudge or change behavior. So your friendly AI may be asking you, do you really need that latte, or would the money be better spent on saving for a house deposit? Some people like this and others don't, right? This type of future. No. So I think those are a couple of the challenges we're going to start to see continuing to face the industry.
Well, Prakash, from the consumer point of view then, what should we know about how our data is protected with online banking?
Yeah, I think, firstly, I think the industry's adopted some of the most advanced security measures that are available, from encryption technologies to isolating and limiting who has access to what, having artificial intelligence help with monitoring the environment and flag if someone's doing something wrong. We could do a whole podcast on this, but I think that the technologies to protect your data exist, and IBM's been a leader in constantly developing these and thinking, as we said, about future threats and building for them. So, we're working in partnership with a lot of the banks around the world to help them make sure that this security is embedded throughout their solutions, and that their customers' data is kept safe. So those are some of the, from a more of a development point of view, things that we're doing. But also, as we go through these modernization journeys with them, we bring the best of breed, as it were, across different environments and different technologies to keep all of this clients' data secure and safe.
Well, IBM has a long history of working with some of the world's largest, you touched on, most sophisticated banks all over the world on the modernization journeys. I mean, the Bank of America is one. Tell me these for a layman: BNP, Paribas, and CaixaBank. Who are they?
CaixaBank, yeah. So BNP Paribas, one of the biggest banks in France, and they do actually have operations around the world. And similarly with CaixaBank, it's the biggest bank in Spain. And similarly, you probably know them with other brands around the world. But these are big global multinational banks. But we also work with. We've spoken about big banks, but we mentioned that banks are continuing to work with smaller companies and fintechs, and we have a long history of working there as well, right, with a number of these startups, and we've seen specifically in areas like digital assets, which has been a massive area of growth recently. A lot of those companies are now starting to use the same security technologies that we have to protect assets in this new world, as it were, right, with cryptocurrencies and digital assets. So, we're spanning both the big and some of the smaller organizations as well now. Yeah.
I know the banks, in all honesty, they're still pretty nervous with the whole crypto bit, aren't they? Now, information.
They are.
Yeah, they are indeed. Now, IBM.com/cloud, is that the correct address here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's IBM.com/cloud, and you can get more information if you're interested in learning more about what we're doing.
Fantastic. Well, as usual, Prakash, always interesting to speak with you. A very intelligent man, the Managing Director, Financial Services Digital Transformation EMEA. What does the EMEA stand for?
Oh, it's Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It covers pretty broad. Good job, man. I mean, you must love to travel, do you?
Thank you.
All right, so there we go.
Yeah,
Prakash
it's
Pattni.
great.
Yeah, IBM. Wonderful stuff. Interesting and a bit over my head, I'll tell you now. But listen, our kids have got it, our grandkids have got it, so it's just as well we're finding out now. Thanks again, Prakash.